Thank you, sir. Can you throw this away? Put that on the counter, please. All right, good morning. Wait a minute, it's not morning. It is evening? What's up, Ted? This sucks. You still going? What's your plan here, Ted? Are you cash? I saw in chat you were saying. I thought you said you're just Bitcoin, so. What up, B-dubs? Bear trap incoming? Well, we are under 30K, so. You're in BTC? Okay. All right. Is this part of your plan? If it's part of your plan, then it's all good. Lawrence, what's up, Ian? Got some at 29,420. All right. What else we got? Okay. So yeah, BTC continuing down lower. We broke the symmetrical triangle last night, loosely talking about a head and shoulders pattern. And it looks like it's kind of, I don't know, I'm on the fence about the head and shoulders pattern. Obviously, the volume signature is technically incorrect. Let's go back to the daily and bring on some other charts. So follow through days is going to get reset. We can eliminate those right now. Alts are getting wrecked harder than BTC. It looks like Ethereum is keeping pace. It's actually not too bad. XLM down 10, Link down 6, Cardano down 9. Yeah, that's a little bit worse for some of them. Some are keeping their value, though. I haven't really been keeping track of alts today, doing some home renovation stuff. DOT also. Yeah, down 6. That's not too bad. ETH's keeping pace with BTC pretty good here. So we're through a lot of moving averages. We never did get a third touch of the trend line right there. Undercutting 30. Yesterday closed 33 minutes ago. And yeah, we did get above average selling right down to the 30K area. And so now we're just on this next leg lower. And where we stop, nobody knows. I'm hearing a lot of numbers being literally thrown around. A lot of numbers. Look, nobody knows where this is going to stop. It's just the way that it is. I mean, there's lots of numbers on the table. We talked a little bit ago about a potential head and shoulders pattern. This is a place it could go, and actually, yeah, it breaks right there. So that one gets us down to 22. We've talked often about this 21 weekly line, which is my line in purple. And you could probably argue that when we kind of get up here, we'll be a little higher. You can see it's starting to flatten out. Starting to flatten out a little bit. So depending on when we get down there, we could end up in about the same area with that 21 weekly EMA, which during the 2017 market cycle, as Mike noted, it's probably sleeping right now. As Mike noted, and we've been looking at in the power hour for the past while, 2017 we bounced off this 21 EMA several times, or at least around this area. Unfortunately, if we do get down there, which is definitely a possibility since we broke this symmetrical triangle, if we do get down there, then we run the risk. I guess the retest of maybe 20K, because that's pretty close to 20K. Another place of potential stopping point is the prior high. Right there at 24.2, kind of on this little shelf of price action here, which was it's not really a base, but it's just kind of a nice consolidation area. And then you can draw fibs. I mean, look, there's a million ways to try to figure out exactly where we could stop. You know, you got a 786 stopping us at 24.5, almost a full retracement down here to the 21 EMA, and then we're obviously already cut that in half. So if you're a fib trader, you're probably looking at this 28.1 or this 24.5. or you can ask Vlad. Yeah, I guess we could do that. All right, Vlad, where are we going? Or do we just sell it all and buy via? Is that what we do, Vlad? You still doing that? Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, yeah, so we are through a bunch of support. There's really only one little level of support left right there, about 23.4 in my opinion. This is a small shelf of price action. You can see there's a very tiny pivot point between this red candle and this red candle. And we're kind of around that area, but so far nothing super substantial. After so many days down and volume getting elevated, it's going to be hard to tell unless we go to the smaller time frame to take volume into consideration. And when you do go into the smaller time frame, my 2-hour chart, our volume aggregation tool, not too firmly bearish. Actually, looks like buyers and sellers are loosely in equilibrium at the moment. Right there. Looking at some secondary indicators, we got RSI on the low range on the 2-hour. This goes all the way back down to the 20K breakout. This is about as low as we get with RSI to the downside, right about here. So we could stall in this area from an RSI perspective. I know there's a lot of RSI traders around, so that could be a consideration for a lot of people. Let's get rid of this. 28 and 25 should be fine after B2C ban. In US, we go lower than that, so don't ban it, guys. Yeah, I'm not planning on banning it. Maybe later. I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking about that, since I control US crypto policy, obviously. So a couple technical indicators showing us that we're pretty close to a bottom, at least in terms of the RSI, showing that on the 2-hour time frame for whatever that's worth. We have gotten lower than that, but not a lot lower. This was the very fast dip right at 20K. It got down there very, very quickly. I don't think this could be, I'm not sure if it's as fast in terms of straight drop. So it looks like 15% drop in 1 day in 6 hours. This isn't going to be that fast. 15, pretty close actually. And it didn't really drop that much. BTC did this in the past. Be ready for a huge green dildo. Yeah, look, overall the market cycle, what we've been discussing, I mean, obviously, look, anytime you have an asset that you hold that's down a significant percentage, it doesn't feel good. Like right now we're down about 29, almost 30%. But what have we seen in the past? We've seen 40%. So, you can't necessarily discount that type of behavior at any time. Now, past 40%, I think we get into a bit of a larger type of an issue. So depending on when we're going to get down there, that's 40% right now, about the 25,000 level, which is right in line, pretty close to this prior high at 24.3. So kind of right in line with that. So this is easily manageable in the bigger scale. If Bitcoin is indeed in a very large bullish cycle, which I do believe that it's in, and this is what we talked about today in the Power Hour, is that you have to expect this. Not that you want it to happen, not that you're going to get it right on the way down, but what you can't do is chop away your BTC value to the point where there's not a lot left. So you can exit into USDT, that's fine, and then you can try to buy when it's bottomed or bottoming or on the way back up. But it's hard to buy a bottom fairly premature. If you're just buying cash, say you got like 10,000 on the sidelines and you're just buying here, buying there, buying there, buying there. That's really good. Now, here's the thing at this stage, especially if you're a more active trader, it's really hard to do that because we will take larger position sizes. I'm not gonna pepper in 17 buy orders on this chart. I'm gonna buy at my opportune place or several opportune places. Now, if you're a whale, if you're someone with just a tremendous amount of resources, you can have a different type of a game plan because you have much larger resources, right? If you want to buy 100 million worth of Bitcoin, you're not going to do it in one go or 2 or 3 goes. It's going to take you a long time to do that. So you're going to be able to buy a little bit here, and you're not going to be worried so much about, necessarily the immediate price action. You're just going to be peppering buys in all over the place. If you remember what the Michael Saylor, the MicroStrategy guy, he mentioned that they bought dips down every 1 or 2 or 5% or something like that. So, I mean, they're nibbling at it all the time. They don't even necessarily care if it goes down 30, 40, 50% more than likely from highs, versus where a retail trader like most of us here, that does not sit well by any stretch of the imagination. Most of the people that have those bigger positions, it's some type of a job for them, or it's a small part of their net worth. They have a large Bitcoin buying group, and those people would be part of the group where those people, have jobs. But when it's your money and you're seeing these big wild swings, that just doesn't feel good. And trading this kind of market like this, it can be difficult because of those emotions, because you are so intrinsically attached to that money. It's just the way that it is. You're so intrinsically attached to that money that it's hard to say, you know what, I think Bitcoin's fine until we cross like 25K. And then I think we may go into some type of a bear market situation or something like that. But until then, all you're doing is thinking about your money. You're just thinking about, oh crap, I'm down 5K, 10K. What does this mean? Well, this is why it's a good idea to understand what you're doing and why you're here to begin with. Are you trying to gain dollar value? Are you trying to gain Bitcoin value? Are you just trying to increase Bitcoin value? Are you trying to just hodl BTC and add along the way? Like, what is your strategy? And the problem comes along, at least that I see with a lot of people, and I've also experienced this myself, is when you kind of co-mingle strategies. It's kind of when you co-mingle, hey, this money is suited for this purpose, but then you start to see things in the market, and you think you can get an advantage on the market, and then you just start trading it, and then that initial purpose kind of evaporates away. I see that all the time. I see that constantly. Another thing I see often is commingling of funds. We often talk about if you have a HODL account, you need to keep it completely separate from your trading account, because if you have money in a trading account, you're going to trade it. So if you want to HODL some Bitcoin and trade some Bitcoin, your HODL should be off of an exchange in somewhere where it takes a concerted effort to actually get that money on an exchange, because you're just going to trade it. I mean, it's just what it is. So you're going to trade those funds. So keep that money off of an exchange. And I mean, that's really all you can do is separate those funds. And then when you're dealing with your trading funds versus your HODL funds, obviously it's a whole different ballgame. The HODL funds you just don't touch. And then the trading account, you do your best to try to learn the craft of trading and the art of trading, because it is an art. Rick trolling me a little bit, 80K, here we come. I deserve that. That's fine. Look, when it comes to YouTube and Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, especially as a trader like myself, look, I started Real Crypto to kind of put my analysis out there and kind of show, what I guess my view on the market. And I will say, from when did this start? About 14 minutes ago, Monkeytron. About 14 minutes ago. Hey, what's up, Aram? Yeah, so my past two videos was 80K coming pretty quick. And, I've gone back through the charts at 42K. And I got to be honest, there's no major sell signals up here. I don't see any major topping action. So I'll stand by the video. It's fine. Hey, what's up, Pete? It's fine. I got no issues with that. And then, we had the drop here and, kind of not really walking back, kind of making fun of myself a little bit with the 80K video. Let me give you a little bit of insight into, an analyst's mind during a bull market and during different kinds of market cycles, really. There's a few obvious things when it comes to technical analysis and the big picture market. There's a few very, very obvious things, and many things are not obvious. Like, most things are not obvious, but you do have a specific number of things that are very obvious. The 2017 parabolic run, extraordinarily obvious. That was extraordinarily obvious. on the way up, calling every single micro leg or even macro leg correctly is very difficult to do. I don't know too many people that get it right most of the time. And when you're trying to put content on YouTube, you know, I do my best, guys do their best, guys get it right, guys get it wrong. But the point isn't that I do or don't know what I'm talking about in terms of it's going to 80K, it's going to 60K. Oh, and the whole thing with the 80K thing too, there's a little bit of clickbait. I'm sorry, you have to have a little bit of clickbait on your titles just to get viewed. So there's a little bit of that going on. But I mean, not much. I believed what I said in the moment there when all the analysis was pointing that we're still bullish. And large market cycle, I do believe we are still bullish. So I mean, from that perspective, that's good. But anyway, the point I'm trying to say is that when you look at all these people that have been around for a longer period of time, and they get a call wrong, keep in mind, a good trader doesn't have to be right. A good trader has to survive. That's really all you have to do. All you have to do is survive, and then you'll be right. If you can survive when you're wrong, you will be here when you're right. That's basically what trading is. Trading is surviving until you're right enough times to make some money. So that's it. Really is what it is. I mean, I've done a lot of surviving. I've done more surviving than I've done being right, and but I mean, I guess I've been right enough times too. Anyway, that's the whole general point about the whole 80K thing and stuff like that. That's fine. Rib me. What? It's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But here's the thing. Like when I did that video before 20K about the head and shoulders pattern down here, and see, this is really the key. I think if you're a person that's consuming public information, and the person doesn't necessarily give you both sides of the coin, at least in some part, then they're trying to sound like something that they're probably not. Okay? So when I was talking about this head and shoulders pattern, hey, we were doing this in the power hour. I mean, it happened significantly. And I said, I think on my second video there, very early on, I said, look, I am not married to this head and shoulders pattern. And this is what I mean about you have to survive as a trader. I'm not going to go in here and call a head and shoulders pattern and then live and die by that head and shoulders pattern. I'm not going to fall on my sword. It's just not going to happen. My job is to survive as a trader, just like yours. So if you see something that doesn't vibe with you, that you don't agree with, you have to find a way out. So in this particular situation, we were ready for a break down and a break up. We had the 19650 painted on here, pretty much ever since we talked about this head and shoulders pattern. And obviously when it went up, we weren't caught by surprise. It was part of the plan. So while, we did talk about one thing, we also talked in depth about the other thing. And that's what you do in most of these situations. In fact, almost all of these situations. Just before the breakdown here, even, after the 80K video in the power hour, we noticed a small 15-minute head and shoulders, talked about if you're really concerned about a bigger breakdown, this is a pretty good place to sell it. We didn't harp on that, but just being ready for the other side of the trade in case things happen, right? And then we mentioned a couple days ago here that, hey, Bitcoin and Ethereum got to get moving, because keep in mind, ETH up here was knocking at 1,400. Hey, Goblin, I don't mind you posting stuff, buddy, but if you're going to keep doing whatever that is, I'm just going to have to ban you. So I just keep it with words. I don't know. But anyway, like up here at 14K a couple of days ago, I'm like, look, the market looks a little heavy. Bitcoin and ETH is going to have to pull us up. Otherwise, we're likely to head lower, and I don't know exactly what that means. And we actually didn't break that all-time high in Ethereum, and Bitcoin never broke this dark green declining trend line. And so we kind of ended up going lower yesterday. We found a little bottoming candle here that ended up not being a bottoming candle. And then, here we are right now in this type of a situation. So it's being a little bit ready for all scenarios. But all in all, you have to survive. You literally have to survive, because if you're chopping yourself up and out and getting too emotional, you're not going to be here. Okay? you're just not going to be here. So, yeah, in these times when we're going lower, but like right now, this is just, at least to me, this is just a correction. This is just a correction in a larger bull market, and that's all it is. And there's lots of fear and doom and gloom out there, and it's just the leg, guys. This is just how it all works. This is how the market works, right? If you go back in history and you look at almost any lengthy bull run, you're going to get these big, large corrections. Technical analysis exists because of these big, large corrections. And that's it. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And that's what you start to see, and that's what you start to come to understand over a period of time, is that these actions are fairly normal. And the difference, the difference comes with experience, and it comes with, again, seeing these things time and time again, and being able to understand what part of the market cycle you're in, or at least have a good idea. And then, once you start to say, hey, I've seen this before. This looks a little bit like that other situation. Let me go look at that chart and let me come back and reference into what we're going through today. Then you go, okay, I saw the volume was declining. I saw that, we went down to this moving average and we held up, and the RSI was this, and the MACD was that, blah, blah, blah. And what you're going to start to, the picture's going to start to get painted for you, because when you start to become a pretty decent analyst, you're going to start to internalize all this stuff. And it's just like with anything. Look, I'm doing some renovations on my house right now, and I'm doing some drywall, I'm doing some mudding, I'm doing some painting. I extended a wall out. Hold on a second here. Ellie, he's funny. He's like, why aren't you doing an extreme stream? I'm like, I am. Ellie, you're funny. All right, sorry, Hamid, you did ask a question. I lost 500 on ETH. Should I sell off everything I have in ETH right now and wait for it to drop more and do a full buy again when it's cheaper, or should I buy 1K ETH right now? Well, thank you for trying to give me some context. It's not quite enough context, though, to be quite honest with you, because I don't know what 500 is to you. Do you have is your account size $2,000, $1,000, $5,000? I mean, there's a lot that goes into that, to be quite honest with you. Well, we are still in a bull market cycle. I do want to make that abundantly clear that the cycle we're in is a bullish cycle. So nothing has changed right now in terms of this cycle. So you don't have to sell. I mean, look, if you wanted to sell, the time was when we failed 1400. Like I just said a moment ago, I mentioned in the show a couple days ago, if we don't rock out here, we're likely to pull back. So if you're worried about that scenario, then you need to start selling up there. You don't need to sell when we're down, whatever it is, like 20% down here. You don't want to sell right now. I mean, especially if you're just holding Ethereum, if you're not worried about this and that and the other thing. If you're just holding on to it, no harm, no foul right now. If you have plans to have it for the next couple of months. We could continue. We can obviously always continue lower, but right now it even if we do continue lower, look at the difference in volume on Bitcoin. Use Bitcoin obviously is a good example. So here was our nice volume down here, that huge volume day. Our volume yesterday, which again just closed 54 minutes ago, was about half of that. So our selling pressure is less. Our selling pressure is much less than what we already have had. So the selling pressure is getting weaker. Eventually, it will subside, and we will start to reverse. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking for, as we usually do in our power hour. We look for all these scenarios, talk through all of these scenarios, and that's pretty much what we do. Is we're looking to see where we could go and how to handle these. Because keep in mind, everyone has a different plan. And so it's hard for me to blanket give buy and sell signals in most circumstances. Sometimes it's clear, but like 20K it's pretty much all on board to the bull side on that breakout. But at 42K, it wasn't a super clear sell signal. And so, we talked about pullbacks and retracements, and we spent hours over the course of a week, like hours over all of this. And that's all you can do is do your homework, guys. That's really all you can do. All right, let me get to some comments here. Benedict says, all we got to know is when is a good spot to buy in. I don't think it's, if you wanted to, again, if you're planning on buying and holding for longer periods of time, from 29, from here 30 down to 25, I think would be a good spot to buy if you're looking for that. In terms of market timing, you're going to have to be a little bit more, on top of things, and that's why the Slack chat room's good and the Power Hour is good. We can go through all those different levels of potential support. And then we got, get a strategy first, then get involved. You will probably lose more money than you think. Go to stocks and understand how markets work. People who go to crypto have no idea what they're in for. That's pretty true, Display. The crypto market makes the stock market look very sane, unless you're talking about some penny stocks and some very small ones. But, after doing crypto for several years and stocks for a lot longer than that, crypto is just as sane as stocks if you stick with the top coins. There is a threshold of garbage, and if you stay above the garbage, things usually trade relatively well. Now, you'll have some newcomers coming along that are not in the garbage category that you have to kind of sift through, and there's a little bit of an art to that. But the chart can lead you to those, believe it or not. Even if you don't quite know what you're looking at yet. Like, we were following Theta forever, and it just kept coming on my radar, and then, I had a bunch of alerts on Theta. Let's show Theta here. Hold on, did it by percentages for this morning's show. Theta kept being on our radar here, and we've just had alert after alert after alert on Theta. Like, we've just been following this thing through every cycle, and then all of a sudden we looked up and it was number 17. And we've been following all the top 20 cryptos for years now. And Theta, I didn't realize how big it was in market cap, and it just kept creeping up and forming higher lows. Yeah, I never did either, Monkeytron, to be I wasn't trading a lot of alts either, to be honest with you. Just too much going on. I do the bigger trades in my larger altcoins anyways. I liked the chart. I really did. I wanted to look, any alert that I put on here that that I think is a good chart, I obviously would take a position in that in 90% of circumstances, but I just wasn't in a position, nor did I really care to hawk the charts that much. And I didn't know Theta was, if I knew Theta was such a big coin, I probably would have paid more attention to it. But here's a good example of a crypto that can go from, basically garbage status into the teens. And Link is another example of that. GRT in the future may be an example of that. That's another one, at least technology-wise, has a lot of similarities with Link. And the price action on the chart on GRT is really, really good. I'll show GRT for a second. Yeah, well, DOT started at like number 7, so I don't know if that counts so much. So here's, that's DOT, not Geo. Not GRT. There we go. And GRT a little bit positive here. So yeah, GRT with a big, huge cup in hand. It looks even better against the dollar because Bitcoin had this big rally, which caused the GRT value to go down. But, following all the way through, even through the lows here, we had a couple alerts down here, I believe. And then 1244, now 1607. So I think there are some of these cryptos, these altcoins that are going to come back up. But generally, for the most part, you want to stick with the higher value cryptos. And they're really just going to give you a lot more... they're going to give you a lot more security in your trading. They're going to give you a lot more better price action. They're much more liquid. You're going to have better market participants, and it's just going to make your job easier. I usually I'll stick to the top 20, and then, like I said, I'll jump on a GRT or something every once in a while that has some type of really good price action. Maram asked for XLM. Yeah, XLM's been pretty tight lately. It's rolled over today, though. So we had the 32,407 alert as it was tight for 5 or 6 or I don't know, maybe even a week and a half. But it never did it. It never This is why we wait for them to break out, and why you don't want to buy early is because sometimes they never break out. Hey, what's up, Jared? So yeah, XLM, not really. Most of these in the lower top 20, not so much for me. The price action is generally pretty garbage. What do I think about Hbar, Jared? I follow them pretty close as a long-term play, about a bunch at 100 sat lows. Hbar's been on our radar lately. We've had it on the Power Hour newsletter for the past 4 or 5 days a week or something like that. We had a 170 alert with a cup and handle coming out of this declining trend line. I mean, it was really a nice setup. So there's the cup, there's the handle, there's my phone, and we had the 170 alert. It did get chopped around a little bit, but I liked the setup. I really did. I thought it was pretty good, and it wasn't easy to get into, really, right around here, but it eventually turned itself around and gave you about 12 to 24 hours to try to buy it around here, as it got rid of these spikes. But I mean, about the project, I really don't know, to be honest. It's hard. I can't keep up with all of these cryptos. It's just too many. But last time I had a big spike, it retested, then failed again. I don't know if it's going to do the same thing, but it was a good run. So there's kind of your sell signal. That is a blatant sell signal in my book. Actually, today on the newsletter, we talked about selling up here, at least taking maybe half profits, then cutting half, right about where we are now. So I think basically a sell signal on Hbar from our 170 buy point. Fear and greed index. Oh, damn. 40? Went from 75 to 40? Holy crap. We have bottomed. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, for sure, Jared. Attending power hours. Really, G Square? Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, you know, I, I, I love the power hour. I mean, I do it 7 days a week, and I got to be honest, I like it. It's not a chore to me. Like, there's probably a handful, maybe 10, 20 days in the past 3 years that I've been doing it, where I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't want to do the show today. But generally, I'm all about it. Like, something about it is just fun for me, and yeah, I think it's really a good, really good time and a good investment, especially if you really have no idea what you're doing or you're looking for a good second opinion. Um, Gosh, I don't know, man. I think we do a good job. I just toot my own horn, I guess, a little bit. Look, I'm not perfect, but I mean the community has really come in, especially Mike with a lot of his theories lately. Monkeytron has helped out tremendously with lots of stuff, scripts, and keeping me accountable and calling me douchebag when I need it. So it's yeah, it's phenomenal. So yeah, thanks all you guys that have joined the Power Hour over the years. Randy's getting in on the fear. I'm scared. I'm scared. Kind of hard to scare me, especially these days. Yeah, it's funny. My last kind of trading freak out wasn't because I lost a bunch of money. It's because I didn't make a bunch of money. And I thought it was kind of funny. I'm like, yeah, you know what? A lot of people are scared when they're losing a bunch of money. I'm not. I'm scared when I'm not making a bunch of money. It's kind of a interesting change of behavior. Yeah, my Tesla scare. No, I don't want to talk about that again. Those were like a bad couple of days, man. Once I realized what I did and how badly I screwed that up. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely that's what gets me these days. Yeah, and then I gotta be honest, I did really good on this Bitcoin run up, but I kind of botched in the middle of this base here. Um, I did some just over trading stuff, it's just a bunch of stupid crap, and lost a decent enough amount of the profit that I made on the way up. Wasn't too happy with myself. I was playing too much small ball. I'm a big what do you call it? Shoot, big game hunter. I'm a big game hunter. That's what I do. I like the big moves. That's what I'm pretty much into right now. All right. Speaking of which, looks like Bitcoin is happily lower here right now, and the volume fairly significant. We could see one of those big spike downs at some point tonight if the action continues like this. Hate to say that, but it's definitely a possibility at this particular point from what I'm seeing here. GRT in 1 inch, please. Yeah, I like GRT. I have no idea what the hell 1 inch is. I don't even know if you got some symbols for me, iGamer. I'll be happy to look at 1 inch. Hey, what up, Dream Car? You definitely have been. I appreciate you you joining and sticking around. You're going for millions. Ellie says over trading is the worst. It is. I got to be honest with you. It is the worst. It's really the it's my Achilles heel as a trader. That is 100% my Achilles heel is over trading. So, yeah, if you guys overtrade, give the video a thumbs up. If you have horrible trading habits, give the video a thumbs up. That's funny. What about Link? What do you want to know about Link? So I mean, Link's okay. I think Link. I mean, look, Link broke out in all-time highs again, but I do think that Link has lost a little bit of the cachet that it used to have, and I think a lot of the momentum has kind of wandered away a little bit from Link. It hasn't been leading except for I think 1 day in the past month to 4. So I mean Link is pretty good, but it's got its issues. 1 inch is the better version. Okay, 1 inch. TradingView won't let me do that, will it? How's TradingView going to deal with that? That's funny. I'm going to look at it versus Tether just because it's kind of a flat dealio there. Oh, that's pretty nice. There's a potential cup with handle, I guess. That's not too bad. That's actually that price action. I'm not too mad at that. I think my dinner's ready. I can smell garlic bread. I think we're having pasta tonight. And then I went and I live streamed. That's what I get. I sacrificed my food for you guys. How we doing here? Yeah, 1 inch looks good. Sorry, let's go back to GRT. I do really like GRT from a number of levels. We did have basically a sell signal. Not really a sell. We were actually, we talked about getting out of it kind of up here a little bit. Talked about exiting. And now we're crossing this trend line. So not super great from that perspective. But I don't think it's dead by a long shot. I really like GRT from a technical and from a technological perspective and a technical chart perspective. I like it from both perspectives. I would not be surprised if this were to bounce really nicely at some point. I think this is pretty cool. And the cup and handle it's shaping right here, dude, this thing should just blast off like nobody's business. Let's look at CoinMarketCap real quick. If I could type. And I wonder what GRT's ranking is on CoinMarketCap. Number 57. Okay, so it's actually in a pretty respectable place, but still with plenty of upside to go. Half a billion market cap. And then if you go back to the top here, look at Link, which is somewhat of a similar coin with a 3 billion market cap. That could imply a pretty good multiple being applied to GRT at some point. But I do like the chart. I do like the name. We did look into it. I think it's got a really, really unique use case. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I do like that one. Hey, what's up, Josh? Josh says, think the 30K floor will hold. It's trying to put in a fight right now, but it's actually fighting under 30K. So I think by definition, it's not holding. We're closer to 29 right now than we are 30K. So I kind of think, since we're increasing in volume to the downside, I generally do think that we are going to drop further and hit some other type of a spike low. Just based on the action that I'm seeing here right now and what we've been able to do over this over the past, I don't know, 24 hours, even a little bit more than that. Taking yesterday's bounce into account that didn't bounce much at all and then rolled over immediately. And just the lack of bounces is concerning to me for sure. Yeah, so, I started this video out. Obviously, most of you guys weren't here for the start. I said you're going to hear a lot of numbers thrown out for the bottom, and you're seeing that 28.5, 27, 28. I've heard 20. You're going to hear numbers going down every $500. But let the charts guide you. That's all I can say. Don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to anyone. You can put a couple of lines on your chart if you want to. Like I've got a few here, but if you end up like watching for it to bounce off of a line, feel free to delete the line because in reality the line itself means nothing. We can get rid of that one. We can get rid of this one. We can get rid of this measured move. I mean, in reality, none of that matters. Actually, that last one, that measured move, talking about this head and shoulders pattern not working out. By the way, the price action looks like that may work out. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty bleak right now. But we are definitely in a large move lower at the moment. We have broken down from the symmetrical triangle, and unfortunately, we talked about this in my power hour earlier today. If you are looking to exit, you can look for a bounce. That's all the bounce we afforded, everybody. We were looking for a bounce to what I call the breakdown point, which was right about there, about the 33.5 level. It's drawn a little high. It was like 33.5 right there. We couldn't even muster that. We got to like the internal high and couldn't even get past that. So this is a pretty weak market at this moment in time. And I think that fear and greed index of 40 is showing you, as you just look at bullets and silver coins. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit nicer. Thanks, babe. So this fear and greed index of 40 may get a lot more feary, may get a lot less greedy. We'll have to wait and see, but it's definitely it's definitely not looking healthy right now at the moment. Opinion on Dogecoin. I have no opinion on Dogecoin. Remember Kiyosaki saying people should buy below 20K when price was at 18K? I remember Kiyosaki talking garbage about Bitcoin for like 7 years, so I don't want to hear about Robert Kiyosaki. He just tries to sell books. Don't listen to him. Perhaps I think price want to test 22K region. That's what a measured move takes me to. I can't really call that out of there. I really can't call that out of there. Have I considered the whales are shaking the tree? Says Peter. What does that change? That doesn't change anything. So what if the whales are shaking the tree? Doesn't change our view one way or another. As a matter of fact, that's whether it's whales shaking the tree or people selling, or likely people selling the whales shaking the tree. Whatever the case may be, the price action is going to be the price action. The actual causes don't matter. Not a single solitary bit. The last sell-off from 40 to 30 had a lot more volume. Yeah, I talked about that earlier, Sven. Sven, see if I can say that correctly. I talked about that earlier. The sell-off did have more volume from 40 to 30. So you're seeing the sell-off pressure abate until it comes in heavier, and then you end up with a mini capitulation candle, which we may or may not get. In 2017, we actually got one of those. We may get something similar here at some point. Big move, force big counter moves. It's not going to get that low. By the way, whales are always shaking the tree. Yep, exactly, Ellie. You know what I'm talking about. That's what whales do. Let them shake whatever they want. Just don't fall into it. Exactly. Look, once again, the market action's the market action. If you're going to sit here and say, blah, 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 it's the whale's fault, why are you blaming someone? The whales can't make you buy or sell. The whales are just going to do what they're going to do. It's your choices. It's your actions and your decisions that are really going to make a factor. Where the whale buys, you don't blame the whales for buying, do you? You're not blaming the whales for the move from 20K to 40K, but all of a sudden, it comes down and, it's the whale's fault. So, yeah, don't, I don't blame them on the way up. I don't blame them on the way down. It's just market action. That's all it is. Plain and simple. Market action. Keep it clean. Keep it simple. Don't try to play boogeyman. When you play boogeyman, you're not taking responsibility for your actions. It's funny. I have a video that I recorded that I didn't post. What was it? I think it was called like Ways You're a Shitty Trader. I didn't post it though. Where is it at? If you guys want me to post it, I'll post it. I've got a bunch of videos I haven't actually sent out. Let me see here. Is it in my cold storage? It's pretty funny. Oh, it's Why You Suck at Trading. I think that's the name of the video. It's like Why You Suck at Trading. Yeah, I can't find it. Anyway, if you guys want to hear me, if you guys want to see me post a video that says Why You Suck at Trading, and in reality it's me talking about myself, that becomes pretty evident early on. Everyone say yes, and I'll post a video if I get enough yeses. Otherwise, I ain't posting shit. I'm a little bit trepidatious on that video, but maybe it's just funny enough to piss some people off. Kind of coming up to my my How to Be a Complete Trader video. I made a bunch of videos around that time. About 3 or 4 or 5 of them actually. Where is it? I don't know. Maybe it's in my post editing software. Yeah, it's called Why You Suck at Trading. I love that title. Why You Suck. But it's basically talking about me sucking at trading. Robert has a good point right there. It's funny how people think 100% gain in a couple months is healthy, but panicking in a 30% pullback. Absolutely, Robert. Absolutely. And that's the dichotomy of the market. And you know, it's funny. I said this the other day in the Power Hour. I said it's, as Bitcoin rolls over just a little bit. What I said was, you know, it's funny how you think every single dollar that gets, every paper dollar that gets credited to your account in terms of a paper profit, you think you own, right? You think you own that paper profit. You're like, this is my money. No one's going to take my money. And, you know, but on the way up, you're not like, oh, this isn't my money. This isn't my money. But on the way down, you're like, that's all my money. That's all my money. So again, this really has to go deep. You really have to understand. This is why I say one leg at a time with the market cycle in mind. It really is just that. You have nothing else to do as an analyst, as a trader, other than taking the market one leg at a time. And your guideline, your guidepost, your measuring stick, whatever you want to call it, is the market cycle. Are we in a bullish cycle? Yes. All right, let's buy something. Are we in a bearish cycle? Let's not buy something. All right, Aram, what you got there, buddy? I'm willing to come back to the Power Hour, but I want to be in stocks too. Do you have that option? And again, and do you alert for any trade? Just wondering. Well, Aram, you can actually, the Stock Power Hour, I know I have it. You can actually just join my Real Dash Stocks channel. If you guys don't know, I do have a Real Dash Stocks channel. It is not very popular, which is funny because I'm killing it in the stock market. But if you go to Real Dash Stocks, I'm not sure if you can even see my search right there. There's my ugly mug with my bald head, Real Stocks, 513 subscribers. If everyone here subscribes, that would make it a lot over 700 subscribers. Anyway, so I live stream here in the morning. I do not do alerts on stocks, though. I don't do any kind of stock alerts. It's really only the crypto alerts. Stocks, you don't really need it, to be quite honest with you. But there's a really good group of traders in there. I got to say, I'm really happy. And even in the Power Hour, like, there's no idiots at all in my community. Like, I got to say, anyone that's new comes in and says, hey, I'm new, what's up, I'm learning, blah, blah, blah. There's no I never have it. The only douchebags that ever come in, we kick out in about 15 minutes. So it's never really a thing. But anyway, even in chat, a lot of real good guys. We have Rob. Yeah, you, Ellie, you are a douchebag, but you're a different kind of douchebag. But, I mean, we got guys in there that really are good at, like Rob turned into a tremendous small cap trader, which I'm like, that's super cool because I've always wanted to be decent at trading small caps, but just don't have the patience for it. Not really the patience. I don't want to do that much homework anymore. I really like my system and really, really enjoy my system, and I get a little bit of fun with Rob's small caps. He got a 100x trade the other day. Holy crap. Like, blind luck, mind you. It was blind luck, but it was still a 100x trade, and I got to give credit where credit's due to Rob on that one. And thank God Rob's not here, because I don't want him hearing me talking good about him. Anyway, go to Real Stocks. and subscribe to that channel. We live stream every single morning for an hour at the market open, or I guess a half an hour now. So that's kind of fun. All right, did we get, looks like we're getting a little bit of a reprieve from the selling on the 15-minute. That's quite a bit of buying action right there. Quite a bit of buying action. No major reversal as of yet, but definitely quite a bit of buying action. All right, guys. So, almost an hour into the stream now. I do want to mention to you guys about my Power Hour service. I'm sure most of you are aware of it, but I do have to say it. Otherwise, I'm not being responsible to my business. But Real-Crypto, if you go up here to the services section of the website, my Real Crypto Power Hour, every single day we go through the market. You get a newsletter. We go over live annotations on the charts. We look and talk about whatever you guys want to look at and talk about. If you have positions, if you have trades you're thinking about putting on, no subject is too taboo in the Power Hour. All questions are welcome, and it really is a good hour, especially if you just want a second opinion from an experienced trader. It's, in all honesty, it's kind of one of the more cheaper mentoring services you can get. We do some one-on-ones. We have had some Slack calls where we actually, talk with traders about certain things, and kind of we've talked about all kinds of topics, different conversations we've had with people over position sizing and how to manage portfolios and things like that about certain scenarios. So please do consider the Power Hour. Check it out. And if you don't feel like $65 a month is a good value, join our Slack chat room for free if you're a cheap bastard. And just get in the Slack. I mean, there's a lot of good traders in Slack that are not in the Power Hour. And they go on there and talk all kinds of crap to one another. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Most guys have been there for a very long time, pretty seasoned traders. Everyone's got a different view, and so it's really nice. It's a really nice mixture. It's a really nice mixture in the Slack chat room of people that trade similar to me, or longer hodlers, or shorter term traders. It's really a nice mixture. Jared says, "Do you trade with options? I started reading about options and want to learn them." Actually, Jared, that is primarily what I trade. 95 to 99% of what I trade is options. And Ellie coming in as he should, holding me accountable. Options are extraordinarily dangerous. Extraordinarily dangerous. I have blown up such large position sizes with such stupid things. It's unreal. So, yes, I do trade options. I do them in a very specific way that suits me and may not suit you, or so. Oh, very nice, Jared. Thank you very much for the super chat. Haven't got one of those in a while. I appreciate that. So yeah, but it is hard to trade. Generally you have about a 75% chance of being wrong, but if you're right, the returns are ridiculous. And if you're willing to put in the time and the effort and learn the options market as well as the stock market while you're at it, you can have spectacular results. How I do it is not normal. I go on those Reddit options threads and they murder me all day long about you can't time the market. Oh my God, I almost got in with this one guy yesterday over very similar sentiment. Hey, thanks, Aram. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. But yeah, options are very specific. Options are great if you know what you're doing. Yeah, it's, you know what? That's how I know that what I'm doing is gonna keep working, because I get blasted on Reddit every time I tell them I can time the market. They always look at me like I'm an idiot. All right, some good volume stepping in here on BTC. 5 minutes left in a 15-minute candle. We should get a little more volume. Could be a shorter term bottoming candle. Not super convinced it's the bottom, but it does look like the selling pressure. So let's do this. Let's open this up a little bit. Now, I would like my volume aggregation tool to be a little more bullish. It's not, unfortunately. It's actually firmly bearish at this moment in time. So I'm not in the camp right now that we've necessarily bottomed quite yet. All right, Jared, cool. Good to see you. Yeah, just join it. There's no charge for it. And you do have to give me your email address, and one day you'll get an email from me, but you've never gotten one in 3 years. So Robert says options are designed to go into zero. Having said that, stocks don't go to zero generally. Tesla option will go to zero, but the stock itself won't or shouldn't go to zero. You know, Robert, maybe they're designed to go to zero. That's probably a good way to put that. I've never viewed it from that perspective, but let me put something in perspective about just a little bit about what I do with options, and I'll do a course on this one day. So options generally work based on volatility. Options, work on a lot of different metrics. Metrics. You've heard of Black-Scholes formula and all that stuff. Thanks, Ellie. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. Rachel. Oh, she's doing Dairy Queen. You getting me something? I want an Oreo Blizzard, mint Oreo Blizzard, small, mint Oreo Blizzard. Thanks, Ellie. I was gonna see what I would get for my wife for $5. She's gonna say nothing. I guarantee you. I guarantee you she's gonna say nothing. Bro. Um. So Robert, this is how I trade options in a nutshell. Options do not price in this until here. Okay? After you've gone sideways for a while and formed a larger consolidation of some kind, if you can identify incoming volatility. See, this is what options aren't good at, and what I'm really good at is incoming volatility. My job is to address incoming volatility, not previous volatility. Incoming volatility. And options don't price that in. So if you're good at that, and I'm really good at that, you can do really good with options. But there's a lot of hurdles to overcome. It is not an easy battle, but it's definitely doable. Yeah, and it's life changing. It's absolutely life changing. Like seriously, if you look at my cumulative returns, my average returns, and extrapolating it forward, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't even want to say the numbers. It's going to sound it because they don't sound real. The numbers just literally don't sound real. Continuing with this type of performance. Now, keep in mind the market, and this is not even taking into account 2020. This is pre-2020. This is pre-2020 trading. If you include 2020, it would be all the money in the world, but it's not going to work out that way. So that's kind of what it is. Yeah, there is. You know what, Robert? There's always a price to pay. There's always a price to pay. And I do have to say this, Robert. You know, if you do want to learn options, I mean, I go through it a little bit. Join the Power Hour. Give me the $65 a month, and I walk through stuff with people decent enough in the Power Hour with option stuff. I do teach it in there because I feel that I'm beholden a little bit more, and people take it a little more seriously. So, you know, I do walk through some of my trades. I walked our Tesla trade. Geez, I posted that all over the place. Go look at my Real Stocks channel. Yeah, see? Go look at my Real Stocks channel. Shoot, stupid videos. I post so many lives. All I do is right here. So 2 months ago, I posted Tesla to 1,000 again, November 19th. So it looks like this was after the breakout right there. On November 19th, I posted that video when it was at 480. But I actually put that trade on 4 days earlier. I put that trade on right here. I put that trade on right there. Absolutely just one of my best entries I've ever taken, ever, in my trading career. And I think I just got another good one on Apple too. But one of my best ever entries right there. It's so textbook for what I do. Like this whole chart scenario and everything was set up. Hey, Real Crypto, why don't you just buy the shit out of this? I'm like, oh, okay. And I did. I went so heavy, it was ridiculous. And then I chickened out like a little bitch and sold too early and missed out on more money than I care to admit today. So, but I still made a crap ton. And I still have a little bit. I don't think it's quite done yet. Thoughts on BTC? Yeah, you know, we've been talking about BTC, but it's been like an hour, so we're kind of talking about other stuff right now. Just seeing where the conversation takes us. BTC broke down from the symmetrical triangle. There's a possibility for us to get down here towards the 22.5 level. In my opinion, though, we don't break this trend line. In my opinion, we don't break this trend line, but that's just my opinion right now. I don't think we break that. So yeah, thanks, Robert. And you too, man. Look, if you want to trade options, just start understanding them. You have to look at the spreads. You have to look at like I actually Ellie right there chatting above you. He made a tool for me. I helped like 10%, so he's gonna say we made it, but he made it. Of a spreadsheet that I used to have that I used to calculate the options profitability. And that makes things so much easier for me because I used to just kind of willy-nilly buy stuff without any kind of a plan. But then once I had a plan and I figured out and I saw the patterns of what was working, I was really able to hone my process to the point where now I spend more time not trading than I do trading. And oh my gosh, is that a good thing? That is such a good thing. And like last week, I was not in a good spot. I was trading way too much, and Ellie was yelling at me, and he was right to do so. I was just trading way too much because things weren't lining up, and I was just doing boredom trading. So, once you get your process down, overtrading does kill account. Once you get your process down, you will not trade as much. And that's when you know you're on the right track. When you are not trading as often, you know what you're doing. Let me just put it to you right now. When you are not trading, you know what you're doing. If you're always if you're always taking the next trade, you're going to die. If you're looking for the next trade, but not acting on every trade that you see, you're starting to do the right thing. You're starting to do the right thing. And yeah, that's it. All right, guys, I think I'm going to get out of here. I got food that's getting cold on my floor right next to me. And I do want to thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully I helped out a little bit. Please do consider the Power Hour. It does help me out, keep my everything going around here. And at least getting the Slack chat room. I do like the community. Growing is always better than stagnating. And hopefully crypto I think it's going to be okay. I think we have a little bit more downside action to go. There is some tendency for some bottoming action right now, but so far it isn't glaring, and we do need to definitely see some more buying pressure step in here. But we definitely could have some more action to the downside if we don't get any firm bounces to the upside. So if we don't get those bounces to the upside, look for more downside on the overnight session. I may actually try to be up in the middle of the night for this one. So, all right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate everything from everybody. Thanks for the Snapchats. Thanks for the questions, guys. It's really great when I have great participation from the audience. And so, yeah, thanks, Robert, for the conversations. Good luck with options trading. Hopefully I'll see you in the Slack chat room or the Power Hour as we get to go more in depth during that. And thanks, everyone else, for joining. I appreciate it. I will see you all next time. Have a good night. Peace.